when they sign you, do they give you a certain amount of dates? Is it a dollar figure? You said for the year, creative. What do they go over with you?
I mean, the first year was they gave you a certain amount of dates, but that didn't really matter because those that wasn't going to happen in the first year anyway because
Right.
there wasn't too many events. The first year was roughly $100,000,
Oh, nice. I wasn't
which
gonna.
I never
I
see,
wasn't gonna.
which I never see that much money in my fucking life. So that was cool, and they were fully behind me at the time, but they didn't know what they were getting themselves into with having Joey Janela was going to change. I know a lot of the West Coast guys that might be the Christopher Daniels, and then weren't a
They
fan.
didn't like you, really?
No,
Anything specific, or you just
never.
you just
And I mean, I just like I was getting these big opportunities. Moxley, his first match after WWE, which was a huge deal, they decided to put him against me in a pay-per-view main event. And I'm just saying whatever I want on the internet, still being Joey Janela, still being indie Joey Janela, still getting drunk, still running my mouth on social media. And these guys are trying to build a company. They're like, why won't this guy shut the fuck up? We know like guys like Christopher Daniels are thinking like Frank Kazarian, I'm Scorpio Sky, those guys, to me, they're cool now. Christopher Daniels still I don't like, but like I feel like it was those guys like, why the fuck are we putting this kid in this position? He does this on the internet, he says this on the internet, he's partying, I was thrown right into the Ryan's den. I went from indie wrestler right on in the pay-per-view main events. There was no developmental with me. So I was just like, all right, I've made it at this point. So I could kind of just still do whatever the fuck I want, whatever I did to get myself over in the first place. And how I got myself over in the first place was saying whatever I wanted on the internet, not caring what people thought about me.
right. You mentioned John Moxley. How'd you get along with him?
Oh, he's great. Great dude.
Never met him.
Interesting character. Yeah. Really interesting guy. But yeah, kind of like me in some sense. But yeah, he's just a interesting dude. We always got along well. I'm the one we brought him in the GCW, and that was my idea. Like, let's, you want to do GCW? He was like, hell yeah. So we got along real well. I wrestled him, I believe, 4 times, and every time it was great. He was always great and always let me have my input, and he was awesome to work with. That pay-per-view main event was awesome, and I felt like I was in a stimulation. At the time, that was like the arena where the NWO formed. I'm wrestling John Moxley at this new company's main event, Daytona Beach, and that was just so cool. And that summer there was just scattered AEW shows. They weren't on TV yet. And then that fall, I had the matches with Kenny Omega, which now everyone's really behind me, but also there's people thinking in their head, like, no. You know how it is. The politics.
Sure. Why is he there and I'm not?
Yeah, and these guys like Christian Daniels or Pat Pine, they should be focusing on creating new talent and really just being a backstage personnel. But these guys thought, shit, there's opportunity to be on TV, So he's going to be, I guess it's always going to be like that for those guys,
Sure.
I should be in I'm Christopher Daniels, I should be here. But it's my fault too, because the way I presented myself on the internet. But the thing is, no one's ever going to tell you. No one's ever going to pull you aside and tell you. They're just going to let you do your thing, and then they're going to ramble to each other, and then you start noticing how things shift. I wish someone would just say, well, Cody tried at times, and I did listen to him, and I'm still cool with him, and he just, at the time, he just didn't like the way I did social media, which is fine because he could be the person not to like the way I presented myself. But yeah, they never really pulled me aside and say, Joey, you need to stop like the writing this stuff, and you got to stop saying what you feel on whatever you feel on your that's on your mind and writing it on Twitter. And I just quickly, even though I was doing good for myself, you know, still, no one came up to me and said, listen, stop this. It was always, I just noticed like how my position changed so fast in the company. I had a 30-minute match for Kenny Omega, and that was the first time we ever wrestled. And he had Kenny Omega at the time was, is still proclaimed one of the best wrestlers in the industry. And for me just to go 30 minutes with him and have this highly acclaimed match, everyone was talking about, I thought I was like, this is it. I mean, they got to push me now. And we did it again 2 weeks later on TV. I think we had 12 minutes. And we had another great match. And I took his V-trigger in the ropes, and I saw a boxing fight where a boxer got punched in the face and knocked out. He slumped himself through the ropes. And I said, that's how I'm going to take Kenny's V-trigger. And everyone was talking about that. I was like, they got to push me now. And then and there was no push. You're going to be in a feud with Sean Spears, who we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're going to do with now either. So we're just going to throw you guys together. And there was nothing ever written. They're like, oh, today, what should you do? Maybe you should kidnap Tully Blanchard. It was just like, after that, it's like, where do we go from here?
Right.
I just had these matches, and now I'm in a throwaway feud with Sean Spears. All right, let's capitalize off some real heat. Let's put you with your ex-girlfriend, who you just broke up with a few months earlier, or a new boyfriend, and you do an angle with you guys. Come on,
Right.
And you don't even have the blow. You have it on like a YouTube show. So it's just like, at that point, it's like, okay, I see I got some type of heat in the locker room or with some of the boys that just nothing's clicking. They're putting me with my ex-girlfriend on TV, which I just said, oh, okay, whatever, that's fine. I just want to be on TV, so I don't give a shit. And inside, I'm like, shit, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go back to having 30-minute matches with Moxley and Omega, After that was the fucking pandemic. And Joey Janela in ring is not going to go well for me in front of 0 fans.
Right.
Just like, it's a hard thing to do, wrestle in front of nobody.
You want to plug your stuff if promoters want to reach you, if people want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can get in contact with me on Instagram, the Bad Boy Joey Janela, and Twitter, Janela Baby.